All right, everybody, we have our featured speaker for this month. Victoria, is it Tichy?
Fishy.
Tichy, all right. Communications manager with Tri Valley Conservancy. Victoria is a versatile marketing and communications consultant who joined the team in January 2021. Victoria holds 2 degrees from the University of California, Santa Cruz, business management, economics, and environmental studies. She also held leadership in an environmental education student organization during her time in college. Victoria has a love for backpacking and international travel. Her longest hiking trip was 120 miles on the John Muir Trail, which I'd love to hear all about because I love up there in Yosemite. She is also passionate about leveraging her skills and expertise to make a positive impact on the world around her. Good morning, Victoria.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Jody.
Yeah.
As mentioned, my name is Victoria Tishy, and I'm the Communications Manager for Tri Valley Conservancy. And I have a brief presentation to share with you all today, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Are you all able to see that okay?
Actually, no.
Oh, one
There it
second.
is. Took a second.
Okay, great. So, Tri Valley Conservancy is a local nonprofit working sort of behind the scenes to keep the Tri Valley beautiful, sustainable, and thriving for people, wildlife, and future generations. So, I'm going to be sharing a little more about the history of our organization, some of our projects and programs, and how we impact Livermore. And please save your questions till the end. We'll have some time for Q&A then. So we are a small but mighty team doing some very important work. There's myself, the communications manager, our executive director, Rebecca Spector, who joined our team last fall, Diana Roberts, our conservation manager, Tyler Gargiulo, who was recently promoted to our stewardship manager, and then Haley Rose, our operations assistant. Then we're also supported by our board of directors. Our board chair, Scott Aiken, is actually the City of Livermore representative on our board. And we often collaborate with City of Livermore, LARPD, Alameda County, local wineries, and other small businesses. So our mission is to promote economically sustainable vineyards and increase the amount of permanently protected, biologically diverse open spaces. And when we protect this land and agriculture, we're also protecting local jobs, tourism, and long-term economic vitality of our region. And these aren't just beautiful, they're a core part of what draws people to want to live, work, and visit Livermore. So I'm going to take you through a little bit of the history of Livermore, which you all might be familiar with, but we have deep agricultural roots. We were one of the oldest wine regions in California, but by Prohibition times, urban sprawl had sort of squeezed Livermore's acreage down to just 1,500. And that's when the South Livermore Valley Area Plan sort of came in to bring together community members, developers, planners, conservationists to create not just a land use plan, but sort of an economic development strategy. And this created a framework how agriculture, housing, tourism, all of these different factors could thrive together and established this need for a critical mass of protected agriculture, which is about 5,000 acres. So we currently protect over 5,000 acres of land through our conservation easements. We were started back in 1994 as sort of a response to the South Livermore Valley Area Plan, and we still have that spirit of bringing people together to shape a region that's both livable and lasting. So essentially how we work is that we create these legal protections with conservation easements by partnering with landowners. They still own the land and benefit from its use, but this just establishes how it's protected and managed in perpetuity. And then once land is protected, our work isn't done. We continue to steward and monitor it, collaborate with our various partners in support of our mission, and then we also invest in the environmental education of future generations, which I'll talk a little bit more about towards the end of this presentation. So of the 5,000 acres we protect, the majority of our conservation easements are agricultural. We also protect open space and parks and habitat land. So what's so important about protecting Livermore's agriculture? Does anyone here enjoy drinking wine? I know I do, sometimes too much. But our vineyards are an important part of the character of our valley, what draws people here. And, we love these beautiful vineyard hills, and we want to prevent this from happening. Pulled vines, fallow, empty fields, and this land being at risk to just sit fallow or go to some other use. And right now, about 90% of Livermore's farmland is dedicated to wine grapes, but many vineyards are sort of reaching the end of this economic lifespan, and farmers are having a difficult choice if they're able to replant and if it makes sense. To help plan for the future, we sort of knew that this is coming, but we also commissioned researchers at UC Davis to do an independent study to sort of investigate what's happening with our wine region and opportunities to better support it and facilitate growth. So Livermore Valley has great climate, soil, and expertise to grow world-class wine grapes. And there are from the time of the study, about 7,000 acres suitable for commercial agriculture. And there's a market of over 6 million people within a 1 hour drive. So some of the issues or opportunities that the UC Davis study raised is that there's a need for clearer branding and cohesion as a wine region, a need for mid-size winery productions, and more infrastructure to support agriculture and tourism. So after this study, TVC began thinking of, okay, what are some practical ways we can help support the wine region with this importance? Like, we know that about 65% of these vineyards are going to be replanted in the coming decade, and there are some economic challenges preventing farmers from doing so. So one of the solutions TVC is currently investigating is a sponsored replanting program to provide low interest loans to help business owners replant. Our goal is to help preserve the economic and cultural legacy of Livermore wine country, and this would also go back to support the whole supply chain of winemakers, farm workers, tasting room staff, and local entrepreneurs who rely on a healthy wine region. So we're continuing to pilot this program. We have a winery signed up, and we're looking at ways to get more wineries involved in it. So agriculture is a big piece of what we do, but we also protect open space. When we spend time outdoors, it keeps us healthier, improves mental, physical, spiritual health. And people visit Livermore for wine, but they also come for landscapes, trails, and views. And preserving open space sort of enhances our brand as a destination for outdoor recreation and that sort of rural feeling. Our open space also provides wildlife with food and resources they need to survive. Some practical projects from TVC back in 2014, we added protected land to Sycamore Grove. We also supported building the Edward R. Campbell Bridge, which actually connected over 44 miles of trails for visitors. In addition to our work with open space, we also protect habitat land, which animals are really important for biodiversity and a healthy, functioning ecosystem. Nothing exists in a bubble, and the places we love and enjoy wouldn't be the same without the furry, scaly, and slimy friends that live there too. So our protected properties are home to critical habitat for species like California tiger salamander and the burrowing owl. And this year, we're also partnering with Boy Scouts and other local organizations to provide habitat for burrowing and barn owls on some of the protected land. Why steward our land? So we have all this protected area that we're working on. We have projects and programs to help enhance it, but it also takes a lot of routine maintenance. And once land's protected, our work is just sort of getting started. We monitor over 100 properties a year to ensure the conservation easements are being upheld and the ecosystems are healthy. This includes things like hosting habitat restoration volunteer days and cleaning up trash on the properties. And while we're on these visits, sometimes we have an opportunity to help wildlife. Like last year, my coworker Tyler found a sick owl and was able to bring it to Lindsay Wildlife Center, where it was rehabilitated and then released in Sycamore Grove Park. So that was an exciting story. TVC also advocates for policies that protect land and honor its value. Some of these include the Yes on P Clean Water Vibrant Wine Country initiative, which successfully passed back in 2022. And this upheld protections for South Livermore vineyards and helped move forward initiatives that would allow a sewer line to be built. We also, oh, one second. We also supported the Tesla Park initiative for it to be designated as a state reserve. This is one of the highest levels of protection, which would allow for ecosystem health and for people to also still be able to visit and enjoy some of the services, like hiking, outdoor recreation, and other things. So this brings me to one of TVC's favorite programs for me to talk about. I do a lot of the grant writing and the outreach for it, and we secured a $20,000 grant recently from the Three Valleys Community Foundation, a $10,000 grant from Livermore Rotarian Foundation. So local funding has definitely made a huge impact in our ability to offer this program 100% for free. This is our Youth in Nature program, which is offered to fourth grade students to every school in Livermore who wants to participate. It's free of charge, and essentially the program functions in 3 different lessons. 2 of them are in class, and 1 is a field trip to Holtner Park. We provide transportation, a backpack, field journal, and binocular to use for kids on these trips. And our thought process here is that when we invest in youth education, children can go out and have these formative experiences in nature. They'll understand the value of the land and share that with their family and friends and grow up to be future stewards of the environment. We're proud to report that since 2015, our Youth in Nature has brought over 5,500 students out in nature, and we're excited to keep the program growing and expand to more students across more schools. Brings me to the end here. So Tri-Valley Conservancy has been protecting land for over 30 years, but it's definitely not something we can do alone. And we would love to partner with more local business leaders who care about the future of our region. And there's lots of opportunities. I welcome you to connect with me after the presentation. So to just name a few, you can get involved with volunteering, with sponsor some of our projects, be a match for fundraising, and take part in our events. We love to give people visibility and just have the opportunity to also be a part of yours and share more about the work we're doing. Together, we can grow this legacy of land, community, and connection. So thank you. I'll now open it up for any questions.
Thank you, Victoria. Any questions for Victoria?
Oh, I have a question, Victoria.
Yeah.
So this Youth in Nature program, how many students do you put through that program on an annual basis?
We've reached over 1,000 students a year now.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's definitely grown from the beginning.
And it's offered to just fourth graders, right?
Mm-hmm. Fourth grade students.
Is it offered through the school district? Can any teacher come in and say, hey, I want to introduce my student?
We do a lot of outreach in the fall to plan these visits and ask teachers if they'd like to participate. So a lot of the classrooms do end up coming back, but any teacher can reach out and request it.
Wonderful, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my kids did it. I chaperoned one year.
Oh, great. Thanks for helping out.
Yeah. Any other questions, Laura?
Along those same lines, and if Michelle's still on, she might be the right person to answer this. If you get about 1,000 students going through, I'm wondering how many fourth graders there are on an annual basis in Livermore. And I'm assuming it's not just Livermore Unified, right? You're doing it for the whole Tri-Valley, but even just in Livermore Unified, I'm trying to get an idea percentage-wise how many kids are doing it.
I know we consistently partner with 11 schools, and I'd have to look back at we just published our report, which I'm happy to share with you about our 2024 to 2025 school year numbers. But I think we've served around like 40 classrooms across Livermore schools.
Excellent. Any last questions for Victoria? Awesome. Well, thank you, Victoria, for that presentation. A lot of great photos, a lot of great information, and we appreciate your update. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, and again, just to everybody, thank you for coming together